Good people of YouTube, what's going on? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you're new here, appreciate you as well. Here we are with another video. We're just pumping out content after content. End of the year is coming. Told y'all I'm trying to get some stuff out for y'all, and here we are again. Today we're doing a review on kind of a gun that I was going back and forth a little bit about picking up. Didn't really know if I wanted to, but eventually I just ended up biting the bullet and getting it done. So we're gonna be doing a review on the Staccato C, the 2024 model. This is kind of one of the guns I was looking into and just didn't know if I wanted to do it, but as you can see, we clearly did. Now, y'all know before we get into the video, we're gonna go ahead and do a safety check. So I'm gonna drop the mag. I do keep my mags loaded typically. I just kind of a habit that I got going on, but as you can see, gun is unloaded. Check that barrel. Good to go. Put the gun on safe. So everything's good to go. Let's get to talking about this thing. So the Staccato C, this is actually my second Staccato. Originally I had a Staccato C2 that I actually just recently got rid of to pick this one up. Reason that I actually got rid of my Staccato C2 was mostly because when I bought my C2, I bought it last year of January. So at the top of the year, last year, just really wanted a 2011, really became a fan of Staccato, and just picked one up, had no problems, everything was great, the gun was fantastic. It was an awesome gun, I really loved it. But as the year progressed, I started getting into suppressors. And it's always funny how that starts out. I used to be anti-suppressor, not for any reason that was really special. It's just mostly that I didn't know the process, I didn't know what I had to do and all this other stuff. So I wasn't into suppressors. Now I'm up to like 7. So anyway, at the time I wasn't a suppressor guy, so I didn't know anything, you know, that I was gonna ever need a threaded barrel or anything like that. So I didn't grab one with a threaded barrel. And then over time, just like the optics on the pistols thing, I got accustomed to getting suppressors and suppressor shooting. So once I started shooting everything suppressed, I pretty much became somebody that I want to suppress everything. And unfortunately, my C2, I couldn't foresee me getting into that. So my C2 was a optics ready model with no threaded suppressor or threaded barrel for suppressors. That doesn't really seem like a big deal because I mean, obviously, if you're used to just regular guns like a Glock or a SIG or something like that, you're just thinking, why you just didn't buy you a threaded barrel, you know, whatever. Here's the thing though. Staccatos or 2011s in general, they're not your off the assembly line kind of gun. They're specialty, handcrafted, handmade firearms. At least that's what Staccato tells you. So they're pretty special in that regard to where you can't just necessarily drop a threaded barrel into these guns like you can do your Glock or anything like that. At least they say you can. I've seen some people make it happen. I know there's some companies out here that do offer threaded barrels, but anyway, this is kind of one of those guns where you can't just drop a threaded barrel in it. These barrels have to be custom fitted to your actual 2011 because of the fittings and the inners and all this kind of stuff within the gun. So if you get a threaded barrel gun, more than likely the barrel was fitted into that firearm. So if you give this barrel to a friend of yours that has a 2011, it may work for them, it might not. It just really depends on that situation. So to avoid all that, I was like, okay, let me just hit up Staccato. Let me see if they can just give me a threaded barrel and I'll move on from it. Now, unfortunately, due to capitalism, Staccato charges about $650 for the threaded barrel service, or $750, almost $800 if you want to get a threaded barrel for your gun. And to put it short, do you know what I could do with an extra $750? Do you know what I could do with $650? Yeah, so at that point, I was like, yeah, Staccato, fuck y'all. Cause no, ain't no fucking way. So to that point, I was just like, look, it's probably cheaper just to sell my C2 and get the new version or get another firearm or whatever the case may be. So that's exactly what I did. I actually sold my C2 just so I can get a threaded barrel model of a Staccato. But I also took the opportunity to just say, you know what, I might as well just upgrade. So that's really what I did. And that's how we ended up here with the Staccato C. I really held against doing it for quite some time, but it just was right place at the right time. And I made it happen, and here's where we are today. Now, to be clear, this is the 2024 Staccato C. And I say that because if you do know or you don't know, Staccato already released a C version of their firearm. Many years ago, it was a compact-centric firearm. It's really meant to be a carry gun. So it had a shorter grip, 9-round capacity. It really wasn't a fan favorite. So a lot of people really didn't like them. There's some people who loved them. There's people who were just like, yeah, they're cool. But I know a lot of people did not really like them. So this is the 2024 model. I think that this line is just their reattempt or reinvention of their failure points. And, you know, this is kind of where we are today with it. And I got quite a bit to say about this thing, honestly. So what does Staccato do this time around on this one? I'm gonna compare this thing to my C2. I did have that gun for over a year and I shot it a lot, so I can pretty much tell you everything about it. But what did they do this time around? So this is the 4.4 inch barrel, 17 round, full size gripped aluminum frame variant of the new Cs. You kind of have to say that because the non-threaded barrel C is a 4-inch barrel. So you only gain about 0.1 inches different against the C2. This one has a aluminum frame, same grip, polymer grip that is on the Staccato C2, but with a slimmer profile. 17 round capacity, because this is the full size variant grip. On the new Cs, they have two different models you can go with. You can go with a short compact style grip, which is shared with the CS. And that one has a 15 round mag capacity. This one is the full size, which is, if you're in the market, I would recommend you just go full size. It's worth it. I know people are gonna bring up the whole carrying thing, but it's not a big deal, I promise you. Just go full size. You will absolutely love it. Pretty much how that goes. External extractor, toolless guide rod. Compared to my C2 had an internal extractor and the guide rod was non-toolless, so you did have to kind of break it down a little bit. Once again, this one is the threaded barrel version, so this one has the 4.4 inch barrel and not the 4-inch, so keep that in mind. But I mean, pretty much everything else is the same as every other Staccato. It's still single action, still has the grip safety on the end. On my C2, I did have the curved trigger. On this one, I did go ahead and get the flat trigger, which is an option as well. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same. Has the fiber optic sights. I did get the optics ready, the DPO model, which my C2 also was a DPO model. So once again, I mean, not really much changes around here. It's mostly just some improvements that they made against the C2. We still have the ambi safety selector on this side and the other side. So, I mean, once again, it's not really much. Options are still the same as well. It comes in a stainless steel style barrel, or you can get the DLC barrel, which is this really nice black barrel. My C2 was the stainless steel barrel, and I thought it was cool, but the black just looks so much better. I really wanted to get that DLC barrel as well, so it was really cool that I was able to kind of upgrade that. But like I said, pretty much everything is the same. I mean, it comes down the same. You know, same old. Nothing that you're not familiar with. If you've ever held a Staccato before, or if you ever shot a Staccato before, it's pretty much the same thing. Now, the biggest change that's gonna be is the magazine. So slimmer grip profile, some sacrifices were made. Or maybe not sacrifices, but we're gonna get into that right now. So Staccato is actually moving away from the traditional 2011 style mags, and they're going pretty much full proprietary. So it comes with two 17 round proprietary magazines. This is Staccato's new magazines that they're using. Slimmer profile. I don't know if they're built better. That's a debate y'all can have in the comments, but slimmer profile magazines, these were made especially for 9mm, as opposed to the old magazines that were kind of 45 centric. and they kind of re-rocked it to make them work with 9mm. These are strictly 9mm. They were pretty much delegated and made for 9mm only, so that's pretty much it. Now, that magazine conversation is a point of controversy. A lot of people are not a fan that Staccato is going to the proprietary mag route against all their other lines. And personally, me, I don't really have a big problem with it because, to be fair, I have a plethora of other pistols in my safe. Those guns can't share magazines except my Glock 19 and my GHM. But all my other guns are proprietary mags. I can't share my Smith & Wesson mags with my SIG, can't share my SIG mags with my Glock, can't share my Glock mag with my Staccato. I mean, I can't do it. So, I mean, while yes, I do understand from that perspective, it didn't really bother me as much. But what I do know is that a lot of people had issues with the magazine conversion because Staccato's mags apparently don't have the best track record. I didn't really have any problems with my Staccato mags, but I did have one 20-round mag that did kind of give me an issue. So people were liking that they were able to use any other mag that were probably cheaper, maybe better. I know MBX is a pretty big brand that people like to go for 2011 mags. People just like the ability to be versatile and use any 2011 style magazine out here, MBX, Atlas, Prodigy mags. I mean, pretty much any mag that you wanted to use, you were free to do so. Whereas these, you're locked down. You are Staccato and Staccato only. Now, I don't know if a brand is gonna try to take Staccato on. I don't know the legalities around that, but I don't know if a brand is gonna try to take Staccato on and release their own version of the mags. God, I hope so. But if not, I mean, that's pretty much one of the big changes. And it started with the CS, and of course, with every new gun that they come out with, these are gonna be the magazines going forward. So keep that in mind. Now, how is this shooting experience with this gun? Familiar. I'll say it like that. Familiar. It's a tad better than my C2 was. Tad better. What I mean by that is that it's that grip profile that swapped it, because I hated the grip on my C2. For one, the C2 grip, it has the star logo for Staccato on it, but it also had the star logo all across the grip, and it was this fat ass grip. It was just so annoying. It wasn't really the most comfortable. I love that they went the stipple route on this. So they stippled all across the line. It still has the star logo, but it's more like etched in or embossed. It's not really like a poke out kind of thing. It just didn't feel the best. This is amazing. It feels really good, and it makes the shooting experience way more comfortable. I love shooting this thing. I took it to the range maybe last weekend when I was doing some training, and it's awesome. Love this grip. Absolutely love it. I think this is probably one of the most important renditions that they did with these new Cs. So kudos to Staccato for that as well. But as far as everything else, like I said, it's pretty much a familiar gun. If you ever shot a Staccato C2 before, maybe even a P, if you shot a P or a C2, or I don't know about the XL, I've never shot an XL, you're gonna know what this feels like. It's a way better shooting experience, at least in the regard to the grip. Everything else is pretty much the same. Like I said, it's nothing more that I can really say about that, but it does just feel familiar for me, which I really, really love. Now, if you've never shot a Staccato compared to like your Glock or your SIG or your Smith or your CZ, this is always a topic of conversation of whether Staccatos are worth the money or not. And I just will put it like this. Someone told me that once you shoot a Staccato, you will never go back. I agree somewhat, because I still shoot striker fired guns, but man, I enjoy shooting this thing way too much. As far as like the finish and everything on it, it's pretty much the same. I do realize on the DLC threaded barrel, which is what I have right here, the barrel is somewhat fluted. It looks like it's a fluted at the bottom. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's a little bit fluted compared to my C2 barrel that didn't have that at all. So that was pretty cool to see. But I mean, it does feel a little bit slicker, but everything else is pretty much the same. So once again, if you've had any other Staccato or anything like that, you'll know what this feels like shooting. So also shooting it, I mean, As far as reliability and stuff like that, it was just like any other Staccato I've shot, and including my former C2. Boringly reliable, didn't have any problems to it. Shot 147 Spear Lawman majority of the time because I just like how that shoots. I like how that ammo is pretty much loaded to spec, like their regular ammo. So if you're shooting Spear Lawman, you're pretty much shooting their Spear Gold Dot as well. So it's kind of going to be familiar in that regard. But like I said, put maybe about 200 rounds through it, 250 rounds through it the first weekend. Boringly reliable. Didn't really have any problems with it. Didn't have a hiccup. It's a beam. It's super duper accurate. I have a 509T on the top of mine, so that's the optic of my choice. Who knows, I might upgrade to an RMR HD because I do have an RMR HD on my Glock 19, but the 509T is one of my favorites, so that's why I have on here. But yeah, boringly reliable, didn't have any problems, no hiccups, no nothing. Just a really good Staccato per usual. Now, we gloated about the gun. I mean, it's a Staccato. Everything is cool about it. Love it. We do got some things that I didn't really feel too much, or I wasn't digging it too much. I will say the trigger on this thing is a little bit more spongy than it was on my C2. I will say that my C2 trigger was marginally better than this. It's something that I got to get used to. It's a little bit, like I said, to that point, it's a little bit more spongy. I can kind of give you guys a look at what I mean by that, but just looking here, I mean, just like that. Like I said, I mean, just a tad spongy, something that I had to get used to. Who knows, I might work on that trigger, but again, pretty much not that bad. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe, you know, more rounds through it will kind of help that trigger kind of get fitted in a little bit more, but that's one thing that kind of bugged me, but it's not a big deal. I mean, it is what it is. I think the big takeaway from this is really going to be the magazine issue. And that's, again, another manufacturer thing. This gun has been out since earlier this year, and you still can't get the 17 round mags with this thing. In the box or in the bag, because you do get a bag from Staccato, it comes with two 17 round mags. That's it. Now, two may seem to some people like, okay, why are you bitching about that? Here's the thing. Again, capitalism. When I got my C2 last year, my Staccato C2 came with three 16 round mags, okay? I got three of them out the bag or whatever. This one only came with two. I did start conversing with some people who had picked up Staccatos between when I got mine and to now. A lot of people said that they made that change around summer 2023 when they stopped adding or letting people get three mags in the bag. I thought that was fucking whack. I mean, these magazines are already expensive as it is. Come on, y'all could have just kept it how it was, but of course, capitalism. So of course they dropped it down to two mags and that's it or whatever, cool. But at least with those magazines, you were able to shop around. You were able to use any other magazine that you wanted to use that was 2011 centric. With these, you're stuck with Staccato, like I said in the beginning. And again, I don't have a problem with the magazines being proprietary. I have an issue with them being proprietary and not available. That is the issue that I have with this. The 15 round mags, from my understanding, they're not really hard to find. And also to that point, they had to re-rock those mags because originally the CS magazines were 16 round capacity, but people were reporting issues. So they had to go back in the lab, rework it, drop the magazine capacity to 15, and they had to send people out new followers and new springs and all the other shit. This is 17 out the box. I haven't had any problems with them, but they're just not available. And they're more expensive than my 2011 mags were. I mean, my 16 round mag when I bought an extra was about, I think maybe 50 or something like that. But this is a 17 round mag capacity and it's $80 per mag. And again, they're not readily available. So it's gonna suck for a while if you do get one of these. And I think they had a restock maybe a month ago before I bought mine. And yeah, they sold out. And I do not know when they're gonna come back in stock. But that shit is just gonna annoy the fuck out of me. It's really gonna annoy me because, again, you're only giving us two. and y'all don't make them fast enough. So it's kind of that contingency of the give and take. That's just really how I look at it. And it's really not cool, but again, that's really the biggest problem that I have with this gun. And my thing is that, I mean, you guys knew you guys were coming out with this gun for a long, long time, obviously. Y'all should have made the mags way more available than they actually are. So just fucking stupid across the line. I mean, it's just dumb. Very stupid on Staccato's part. So keep that in mind as well. So what's my verdict on this thing, right? Is it worth it? Should I grab it? What should I do? Should I sell my old model for this one? Whatever. I'm gonna honestly say that depends on you. I know that's not the answer a lot of people want to think about, but let me explain. For me, it made sense to do it because I had other things that I wanted to change about my C2 that I didn't. My C2, I was probably gonna get a grip reduction on that thing because the grip was just abysmal and it was very fat. It's one of the biggest issues I had with my C2 that I just didn't like. And then again, threaded barrel. When I sold my C2, I sold my C2 for $2,100, and this one cost me $29.79. Shout out to Extreme Guns and Ammo. So it's $2,100. I only had to come out $879. That was worth it to me because again, the barrel job itself was about $750. The grip reduction would have been another, I don't know, maybe $200, $300, $400. So again, it made sense for me. It was cheaper to upgrade for me than it would have been to just keep it and do all the upgrades to the C2. However, if you have a C2 right now, or if you have another model of the Staccato or whatever, and you just want to look and see if you want the new C2 or something like that, I don't think it's worth it right now. I don't think it's worth it right now. And it's really gonna be because of that magazine problem that I highlighted. These things are not ready. They're not out in the market. Nobody has them right now. Nobody. I've tried other vendors. I've tried other stores. I've reached, I've called, I've done the whole shebang trying to find extra mags for this thing, and they're just not available. Nobody has them. Don't know when they're gonna get them. So you're pretty much gonna be stuck with the 2 mags that they do come with for quite some time. So if you're somebody who likes to have all the mags and everything ready for the gun, then I don't recommend this right now. The gun is great. It's a great gun, absolutely. Let's not get that fucked up. The gun is great. I have absolutely a blast shooting this gun, and this, honestly, if I got my Staccato C2 like this from the gate, I probably would have never got this. But because I didn't, I had to pay the price. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. If you want to just upgrade because it's the new, go ahead and do it. But I don't think right now would be the best time. I will say though, and just keep this in mind, Staccato will be transforming their entire lineup to this new style grip. And I think they call it the V3 phase of their business. All the guns, so the XC will get them, the P will get it, the XL, all the current guns in their Staccato lineup will be moving to this grip module. They will. Staccato inadvertently already said it, they confirmed it. They're gonna change it to it. They see the money, they see the market, they see what's gonna happen. So keep that in mind, that if you don't get it now, that's cool, but it will happen. So it's not a situation of if, it's when. It's gonna happen. So maybe when they do that swap over, they're maybe going to go ahead and have the mags more readily available, but as of right now, they're not. And to the point of what I did and what I was saying in the beginning, I think that the new C is going to pretty much kill off the C2. I think the C2 is at the end of its life. I think the C2 will be left in the wind and it'll become a legacy firearm for Staccato. I think that they're moving on. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it, I just feel it in my heart. It's gonna happen. So keep that in mind. That's kind of my thoughts. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. So that's my review of the Staccato C. Once again, very good gun. I love it. Really happy to have it in my collection. Really happy to be carrying it. I just got my new holster from QVO Tactical. Shout out to them as well. Took them about 2 weeks to get it to me, but really like this holster. I like it a lot. I carried it today to try it out. And I know people are gonna ask me about the Velcro. I use Mastermind Tactics pillows on mine, and I just stick the Velcro on all my holsters. So all my other guns that I carry, they all have Velcro on it with the pillow that I use just to protect my nuts, dude. But yeah, once again, this is gonna wrap up the Staccato C review. I like it. Once again, my thoughts. If you got the bread and you wanna upgrade, I don't see why not. If you can thug it a little bit and kind of wait until they start bringing these magazines and making them more readily available, then I would wait. That's cool too. Or if you're somebody that you just don't want to deal with proprietary mags, definitely don't upgrade them. I definitely don't think that you should upgrade. But like I said, that's gonna wrap up this video. Appreciate y'all for checking in. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all so much for the support, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Later.